Hello, everyone, and welcome to Clockwork Cantina, episode 61. Hello, everyone. Look at my hair sticking up.
Hello.
Crazy. How are we doing?
Episode 61.
Hello.
Nice.
Oh
All right.
man. I know we missed last week, unfortunately.
It feels like it's been a little bit, but we're back now.
It feels that way. Yes, we're gonna get more consistent. But I will say the reason we missed last week is I had a death in the family that I had to deal with, and I also lost a very close friend. Also passed away last weekend. Had to do the funeral on Saturday, so we weren't able to do Cantina. But I just wanted to. That's why we said about that. I appreciate your condolences in the chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate those, but it's just part of life, man, and we keep going and we deal with those things. We're not going to linger on it too long because I don't want to bring the mood down, and it's just the way things are. But yeah, we didn't do a show last week, but we're ready to go this week. We're gonna talk season 3 of Cobra Kai.
Yes, which was a great season. I'm just gonna say right now before we get into it, I absolutely loved it, man.
I did too.
So yeah, we'll get into details on that later. But yeah, it was great.
Yes, indeed. Another thing is, I have a door now, guys. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it's right over there. I have a door.
Door height. You gotta play the air horn effect.
I do. Let get to the air horn. Door. Yeah, we got a door. Sweet.
Nice. There you go, man.
That's super awkward on stream. But yes, I have a door now. I did not have a door before. I had a blanket hanging there, and it was super loud sometimes, and this shit would be dumb sometimes. And it was very frustrating. Like, me not having a door is the whole reason I haven't streamed like at all since I moved. But I have a door now, which means we're gonna get back to streaming. I haven't exactly decided what I wanted to come back to. I need to go back and finish Spider-Man.
Yeah, you got to finish Spider-Man, dude.
I got to do God of War, but I might do something just for the PC stream, just because that's a little bit easier to get rolling.
Yeah, for sure.
Before that, to kind of get back in the saddle. We'll see. Maybe Daniel and I'll do a co-stream or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be down.
We'll figure something out.
For sure, we'll figure something out.
But we got news. But before we get to the news and stuff, we usually talk about what we've been up to the past week. Now, Daniel, I usually let you go first, but I do want to jump in on one thing because I literally watched this. Right, the credits were rolling when I hit the start stream button. Okay. I watched La Bamba again. I haven't seen La Bamba in a long time, which is the story about Richie Valens and his career and all that and the cool music stuff, man. Great movie with Lou Diamond Phillips. But other than that, I just wanted to mention that I just seen it because I literally just watched it. The credits were rolling when I hit the start stream button.
Damn.
So Daniel, go ahead and lead us into what you've been up to this past couple weeks now, I guess.
That's a couple weeks, yeah. Let's see. I've been playing a lot of games. I've been watching some shows, some movies here and there. You know how it goes. Been playing a lot of Stardew over the past couple weeks.
Yeah, we played a lot of Stardew. Been doing co-op games.
We got a co-op game. There's like 6 of us in there. It's pretty fun. Since the last time I think that I've been here, or that we've been here, I've beaten 2 games on stream. So that if that's kind of a time indicator.
My boy's a machine.
We're getting through games we need to get through, man. I've since beat Cyberpunk 2077. So we've gotten through that. We beat it. I'm kind of glad that I beat it when I did, because I heard that the newest patch that came out, was it yesterday or today or something, kind of messed up the game even more. So I'm like,
yeah, I heard that. I heard that as well. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get into that in the news and stuff, but like I'm kind of glad I beat the game already. But it was fun, man. I like the ending that I got in Cyberpunk. Um, because there's multiple endings, obviously. And I mean, I had fun with it despite the bugs and the issues and everything that it had. I didn't have as many problems as most other people did. But that being said, I wasn't problem free. I did have problems here and there, but
Yes.
I don't think I will say it as bad as other people. Been watching some movies here and there. Uh, watched the episodes of the all 3 episodes of WandaVision so far. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting stuff. Um, I'm digging it. I'm very curious what the hell they're gonna do with that because I'm just like kind of like I don't want to talk about. We'll talk about it when I don't even know if you've seen any of it. Have you seen any of WandaVision yet?
No, I've actually haven't yet. I haven't had a chance to check
Oh
it out.
man, it's only
Um,
3 episodes right now, man.
I was sitting in Discord last night, and I think they were watching it.
Yeah.
But I had missed like the first little bit of it, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna. I like to watch something like that a whole way through where I'm paying attention to it.
I mean, yeah,
Um,
anything that I haven't seen for the first time, I'm not gonna just jump into it like halfway. I need
yeah,
to be
so
there
I
from
was
the
like,
start. You know.
I'll check it out. I know there's 3 episodes now.
Yeah,
Um,
they're only like half an hour each,
yeah, I know
so
they're fairly short. So
it's not too bad. But it's been very interesting because it's some stuff that I'm not like super familiar with comic wise. So I'm just like, huh, let's see where they take us. Um, apart from WandaVision, uh, I played a bit of Phasmophobia, a little bit of Overcooked 2. Those are just 2 games that I haven't played in a while that I got back into. The other game that I beat on stream was Metro Exodus. So before I started Cyberpunk, I was doing a Metro run of the series,
mhm.
but then Cyberpunk came out, so we had to play that. And then then we got back to Metro. So we did Metro Exodus. We're done with that. We're done with the Metro series. Uh, overall, I enjoyed what they brought that was fresh to Metro Exodus. But that being said, I did have some bugs and some issues with that game as well.
Mhm.
Like there was a couple times where the game froze on me and it would just like it's the type of freezing where like you can't even alt tab out of it. You have to just like nuke it with like task manager and stuff and like
Mm.
it was pretty bad. And at one point it froze on me twice in a row in the same exact spot. So I had to like go in and mess with the settings a little bit to
I
fix
think it
that.
had some issues when it came out as well, so I guess they never got
Yeah.
those fixed.
Yeah, I mean apparently they haven't because I remember googling the issues and being like people were like, "Oh yeah, they were talking about like where the common, crashes or issues were and it was in the spot where I was having those problems." So I'm like, "Well, they still haven't fixed that then."
That's weird.
Uh but anyway, uh I yeah, I did that. I beat Metro, beat Cyberpunk. I started watching, we were watching the Nick Cage, the history of swear words or whatever thing.
Mm-hmm.
Watched that. It was it was something. They were talking about all the swear words. It's kind of interesting, like just seeing like the history of like where does this swear word like where did it originate? Like how the different meanings of it, how it can be used and said, and how it's like like in particular like the word bitch like obviously derives from like the female dog or whatever, and then like it evolves from here. Then nowadays like women use it as kind of like an empowering thing of like, oh, you're a boss bitch or whatever the fuck, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's just interesting like seeing the evolution of swear words. But anyway, speaking of stream games that I've played, I started Breath of the Wild finally yesterday.
Yes,
Legends Zelda Breath of the Wild. I finally started that.
I was lurking in there while you were playing. I was hanging out in the Discord with Majin. He was talking about you playing
Yeah, because
and stuff.
he was. I know he was pretty hyped to see me get started on that game. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people. There's a lot of people that love that game, and I haven't. I'm kind of late to the game. I haven't played it until now, almost 4 years later. But better late than never. We're getting started. I've played about like 4 hours of it so far, and I'm really enjoying it. The one thing that I is kind of annoying right now, though, that I will say
Hmm.
is the breaking weapons annoys the shit out of me.
I hate that in any game.
That and even worse than that is just the stamina. Like there's like a stamina wheel or whatever the fuck, and I feel like I can barely do anything at times, man. Like you run for a little bit and then you're gassed out. Uh, but yeah, but other than that though, I've been having fun with it. It was yesterday's stream was kind of a like, let's try to learn as much as we can, because like you gotta learn how to cook and you gotta learn how to manage your stamina. Like run like you're running away from enemies, trying to attack them, not getting gassed out. You're running, climbing walls and stuff, trying not to you're swimming and try not to lose your all your stamina. Because for example, if you're swimming and your stamina bar like completely craps out, then you just drown and die. So
Damn.
you kind of have to be wary of that kind of stuff. So it's just keeping an eye on that. And yeah, I mean basically just learning, learning, learning. uh yeah. And then I forgot if I said already, but we've been playing some. I got into some more. I played a bit more of the Old Republic recently as well. I know you have too. I finally
Yeah.
beat the smuggler storyline that we started forever ago. Uh, it was it was pretty cool. So that makes two of all the storylines that I've completed already. I've done the Imperial Agent from start to finish and the Smuggler from start to finish. So I'm thinking I want to do a lightsaber character next, and I'm kind of leaning towards something that I haven't done yet again. So kind of like, so I'm thinking like a Sith Inquisitor is probably something that I'll probably do.
Oh, Inquisitor. That was my very first character in Star Wars: The Old Republic. Was I played
Oh,
the
was it?
Inquisitor? I Yes, and I still have that character. Um, and I like their story. Their story's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like the Smuggler and the Agent stories that I've completed from start to finish. So those are pretty good. But yeah, looking forward to starting a new character when I get to that. Uh,
What's funny is
it
I was
makes
thinking about starting a new one last night, actually.
oh nice. Well, shit, let me know. Maybe we'll start some characters again. But what was I gonna say? Yeah. So that I completed that. I'm kind of sad that I wasted or not wasted, but I used up all my cartel coins because there's some fucking really cool stuff on sale right now, like the what was it, the Mandalorian gear I think was on sale. They have some
Yeah,
really
that
cool
shit looks
armor that's on
cool.
sale. Yeah, it looks really really cool. Uh, so yeah, it was like damn, there's some really good stuff in here. But I spent my cartel coins on unlocking more of the species. Like I unlocked the Chiss, and I unlocked the Sith, the pure bloods,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't have those before for some reason. But I got that, and I got like a couple hairstyles or whatever for customization. But anyway, yeah, it's cool. I like to go back to that to Old Republic every once in a while. Just play it because it's a fun game. And then finally, the last thing is there was a group of us that watched Conan the Barbarian yesterday because it was like Phenom's first time, Winter's first time. So yeah, man, it was pretty rad. Yeah,
What'd they think? Did they like it?
yeah, they liked it. Uh, as far as I could tell, they liked it. They enjoyed it. I just remember like the movie ending, and then like we were just, dude, the amount of Arnold grunting in that movie is just. I was just like grunting after the movie was over, and like they were just cracking up, dude. Like, yeah, and then like when he just like randomly punches camels and shit throughout the movie. It's like what the fuck, dude. It's crazy, but yeah, it's good stuff, man. It's a good movie. But yeah,
Hell
that's
yeah,
pretty much
dude.
that's pretty much been it, man. I mean, it's been fun, but yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to.
Hell yeah, yeah. Well, Daniel and I have been up to some of the same things. For example, I am also part of the Stardew Valley. co-op group that we've been playing for like 2 weeks. And when I say like 2 weeks, like I don't know, I've put in. Let me look at Steam really quick. Actually, Steam is opening, and I'm feeling time while
Yeah,
it
I,
opens.
in the last 2 weeks I put in like 60 hours, dude.
I think I'm the same. I'm gonna double check though. Let's look
Like
here.
and for like reference, I have never played Stardew Valley really. Like before our co-op game, I'd only played like an hour of the game ever. So yeah, basically all of my time in the game has been like within the past 2 weeks, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, somewhere around 60. Oh, here's where it says 63, almost 64 hours in the last 2 weeks. We've been playing a lot of Stardew. They had a new patch come out that's got a bunch of cool stuff in it. Um, like a new a quest board and stuff, and a new island that I haven't even been to yet. A
I
lot of
haven't
cool
either.
stuff. Um, and I also read just a minute ago. I don't think it's in the news because I saw the tweet just a minute ago with the Concerned Ape, the dude that developed Stardew Valley, just submitted the patch for the consoles, and then it's got to get approved. So the console players will be getting that patch soon, because I know some of our friends like to play on the Switch. Play on their Switch.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Amber likes to play on her Switch. We got her super addicted to the fucking game, by the way.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it all started when she was like, "Oh, what's another Animal Crossing type game for the Switch?" And I'm like, "I don't know, maybe you'll like Stardew, you know." And here
mm,
we are. She's like an expert at the game now, so it's
yeah, she really is.
crazy.
It's actually really crazy. Um, so yeah, Stardew Valley is the bomb diggity.
It's quite the popular game at the moment.
Yeah, among all of us. um,
Yeah.
MCDM. So some of y'all know we love D&D stuff usually here as well. Not just video games, but also the tabletop RPGs and stuff like that. So MCDM, run by Matt Colville, and his crew over there have been working on a little project to kind of test out some stuff for their Patreon called a D&D magazine called Arcadia, which came out. Was it last week? Last week or the week before last? I can't remember exactly. So if you're a patron, like a $5 patron, I believe, over on their Patreon, you get the magazine. You get Arcadia. I wasn't a Patreon because I'm dumb, and I just bought it off their store. It was only like $2 more, so I was like, I want to check this out. Um, it has beautiful artwork on it in it. Let me see if I can get art pictures of it actually.
All right.
So you guys can see what I'm talking about. I'll go to their shop because I love shouting out new stuff, right? Particularly D&D stuff. Um, so here it is. Let me get over here to show it out to you guys. Check it out. Here's the cover art for it. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. There's their logo right there for the magazine. It's not super long, but as you can see, Matt Colville has a YouTube video called "Welcome to Arcadia." I go check that out. He also has a Q&A with the creators, and it just has they have like 4 or 5 articles in it. It has a short adventure. It has a new sorcerer subclass called the Titan Heart. That's pretty cool. I was looking at that. Um, a new kind of rule for taming monsters and making like a mount. And they have like some 6 existing mount versions for creatures in there. For example, they have an owl bear as an example in there as a mount. So for those of you like it has a cool little rule set in there. And Ukaviao, which they have 2 very high like in-game creatures that were made by Sadie Lowry over there in that magazine. It's full of cool artwork, and I mean like really cool artwork, guys. Highly recommend checking out this magazine. Go buy a copy off the MCDM store or sub to their Patreon, and make more of this happen because it's really fucking cool. really fucking dope, as Matt Colville would say. I bought a copy, and I recommend giving them support over there. Another thing that we watched this past week was we watched the Night Stalker Netflix series.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's one thing that I forgot to add in there. I don't know why.
which was like I believe it was 4 episodes.
4 parts, yeah.
Um, um, talking about the Night Stalker Richard Ramirez, their investigation for him to hunt him down and stuff. Um, really cool stuff if you're into true crime stuff.
The documentary was really well done.
Yeah, it was. It was the cops that worked on the case were very cool.
Yeah,
Um,
some
a
great
strong
stuff.
recommend. SWTOR, of course. Oh, Path of Exile. So Path of Exiles had a new league start, I believe, last Friday. Um, I obviously didn't play in it last Friday because I was dealing with funeral stuff, but I did play a little bit after kind of that stuff had settled down. I've been playing off and on the past week. I haven't hit in game yet because I'm still leveling up, but I'll let you guys know more info as I play more Path of Exile. For now, it's just kind of like the same old stuff for me because that's how those new leagues are. And then the last thing I threw on last night just for fun. It's on Netflix. I want to make sure I got the right name. I do. It's a series on there. It's like another like docu series called Spycraft. So Spycraft is like it seems to be like just I don't know how many episodes this guy's got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 episodes of it. Which is kind of like they're talking about spy stuff. So like assassinations that have happened in the past, sex espionage, kind of like that James Bond spies using their sex appeal. Um,
Hmm.
um, Covert communication, all this spy shit that happens in the real world. They talk about AI and high tech surveillance and stuff. Um, I threw it on and actually couldn't stop watching it. So I watched all 8 episodes last night, and I'll probably watch them again because I was like half asleep when I was watching it. But they talk about the code breakers and shit from the Cold War and all sorts of stuff. If you like those Netflix originals, kind of documentary deals, um, check it out. Highly recommend that.
Cool.
And that's kind of all I've been up to this past week. So if you don't have anything else, Daniel, we can hit the
I think that's it.
news.
Yeah. There's
All
always
right.
I always find it funny though. Every week or every time we do the show, there's always something I forget.
Mm-hmm.
Like today it was the Night Stalker thing that I was like, oh shit, yeah, I did that, yeah. But anyway,
Hey, it happens.
yeah, it's just funny how it happens every time. I'm like, damn, son of a bitch.
Well, we do a lot throughout the weeks, man. It's hard to remember all our shit.
But yeah,
We're
let's go
very
ahead and
important people.
let's get started on the news.
Hit
So
it.
first of all, pretty big news. Well, I should say like sometime last week, almost 2 weeks ago at this point. But Lucasfilm Games begins a new era.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, so
Oh, they have
Star
a little
Wars
sizzle reel.
yeah,
I'll
Star
play this while you talk.
Wars.com revealed Lucasfilm Games will now be the official identity for all gaming titles from Lucasfilm, a name that encompasses the company's rich catalog of video games and its eye toward the future. So they have like new social media channels at Lucasfilm Games on Twitter and at Lucasfilm Games on Facebook. So we're gonna be keeping an eye on this for the future of Star Wars gaming now because uh in addition to announcing this, which we can see all the games that have been out within the past. I would say the games that they're showing in the sizzle reel are like the EA era games, And
Mm-hmm.
then obviously we have the new Lego Star Wars game coming out in here this year. You got Fallen Order. These are all like the more recent games that we're seeing in the sizzle reel here. But it's interesting. What I find interesting out of all this is that instead of remember LucasArts, they're not going with LucasArts anymore because that used to be the video game, their video gaming division. But
Mm-hmm.
now they're going with Lucasfilm, just Lucasfilm Games. But yeah, they're all the games in this reel are like more of the recent Star Wars stuff in gaming. Like I would say, I don't know, within the past 5 years, all this stuff that they're showing in the sizzle reel has been out.
Gotcha.
Obviously they show stuff like Jedi Academy, but remember that they've re-released Jedi Academy on like the Switch and whatnot. So, um, but yeah, so the interesting thing about this is that we in our next piece of news here is that uh an open world Star Wars game is in development at Ubisoft. So with this new Lucasfilm Games thing, the partnership slash deal contract with EA is no longer a thing. Which thank fuck, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They still have like 2 years left in their contract, I believe, with that deal. But obviously, we probably won't be seeing this open world game for several years anyway. You know what I mean? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so by the time we'll probably see this game by the time that deal's over. Um, so I'm not too pressed about like when release dates or anything because I mean the EA deal is still happening. Obviously, there's been a lot of people being like, oh, are we still gonna get a Jedi Fallen Order 2? I mean, yeah, why wouldn't we? All this means is that EA is not the only exclusive, you know, they won't be the only exclusive, you know, makers of games creating Star Wars games anymore.
It's what we've wanted for a long time. We don't want an exclusive with just this one fucking thing because you stifle all creativity for something like that, right? Like it's all just coming through EA, man. What if a small indie studio wants to make a cool, has some great idea somewhere, right? For a cool Star Wars game, and they couldn't do it because EA would have the rights to the license. So
Yeah.
I'm all for let it free, let it all hang out, let people
Yeah.
make Star
That's
Wars games.
that's what I've always wanted, which again, like not to shit on EA or anything because I like the stuff that they've done,
Their
you
recent
know.
stuff has been better.
Yeah. I enjoyed Squadrons for what it was. I like Jedi Fallen Order. I still play the Republic as we mentioned, so it's not like oh EA bad and everything else good. It's because I have enjoyed the stuff that they've done, and I mean I still play Battlefront 2 from time to time as well.
Same.
But yeah, it's just this is just great because now we can have anyone or we should have anyone who wants to make a game allowed the opportunity to make it. You know what I mean? So this bodes very well. It's very exciting, but this is going to be the start of a long-term collaboration between Ubisoft and Disney. So what we have about this is that let's see, Ubisoft Massive is going to be developing the game. So the people behind the Division. No other gameplay details have been announced. They're actively recruiting for the project. Uh, they're using the Snowdrop engine used for the Division games. Uh, and Division 2 director Julian Garrity will direct this project too. No indication if it's going to be a single player or multiplayer game or what timeline in the universe is going to be or anything. But but Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot gave a small tease to Wired, saying the game will be an original Star Wars adventure that is different from anything that has been done before. Uh, Lucasfilm also told Wired that all Star Wars games will be continued to be treated as canon. Yeah, I mean we know that already, but so yeah, I just I I just think it's funny how every time they announce something, it's like, oh, this is gonna be something we've never seen before, you know. Which I mean, like, what else are they gonna say? I get that, but like, I don't know. I just think it's funny how we've never seen this before. This is gonna be something totally different. But I'm like I'm glad for this because I mean, let's be real. I've wanted an open world Star Wars game for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
The fact that we still don't have one and that like they're just now getting on it is kind of like wow, like what the hell, guys? But I'm glad we're finally gonna be getting one. I hope it's good. I've played a little bit of the Division, the first one, and I played a lot more of the Division 2, and it was fun for what it was. But we'll see what they do. I kind of hope that it's a single player and multiplayer kind of thing. Like
hmm
that's kind of what I'm hoping for. But we'll see.
Um, I know there's like a lot of rumors too that this we're gonna get more announcements throughout the year of
Hmm.
more Star Wars games. There's rumors, and take this for a grain of salt, of a possible KOTOR remake happening, of a possible KOTOR 3 happening. There's rumors, just
I
very grain of
mean,
salt rumors,
I mean,
but it's possible.
I'm about it, dude.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think this is good. This is good stuff. I'm excited to see what comes out of there. Um, and I hope it's great. It'll be a couple of years, obviously, but
Mhm.
I'm excited for the future of Star Wars games now that it's not just in EA's hands, but hopefully more people than just Ubisoft as well. Like,
Oh, I mean, of
um,
course, yeah. It's gotta be like like I know we talk about all the time of like what are some of the Star Wars games we'd like to see. I know you shit. I would like to see it like an XCOM Star Wars type game too.
yeah,
give me a modern art Star Wars RTS, man. Like as much as I love Empire at War and Galactic Battlegrounds, like I would like to see what a new modern RTS Star Wars game
hell,
looks like.
son, go to Obsidian that made KOTOR 2. Go to In Exile that just made Wasteland 3. Um, go to those guys. Let them make some Star Wars games if they want to and have time to.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
just there's so many.
You,
There was a time where I'd be like, give it a CD Project Red. Now I'm like, no, don't do that. But I mean, you could, but probably not right at this moment. But you know what I mean? Like, give me yeah, give me a Star Wars XCOM for sure. Like that, definitely.
you
That's definitely one I want.
yeah, there's a lot of awesome Star Wars game ideas out there. I mean, shit. I just the thought of like what I would also like to see. This is something that I've thought about from time to time. Like, I know you haven't played any of the Lego Star Wars games, but the Lego Star Wars games basically are like, here are the movies. You can play through them, and Lego obviously does like their own twist on them. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, so I would kind of like to see something like that. But wait, you played the Revenge of the Sith game, right? The
Yeah,
Episode 3 game. So
I did.
I would like to see something like that, but like updated and like give me all like let me play through all the movies. I don't know. There's just something about like getting able to like these are movies we've seen like countless times, right? But like just I have like an idea in my head of like a game that is kind of like a mix of like several different Star Wars games combined, but the kind of general idea is like you're playing through all the movies, and this would include like Solo and Rogue One, and all the movies and all that stuff. Like you play through the movies, you get to play as like hero characters. You play through missions of the movie, and just kind of like take your own like little spin on it, kind of like the way Lego Star Wars does it. But like you combine a couple different things in there, and obviously you don't like you kind of want to make it look like not Lego Star Wars. Like you want to make it look like more of a realistic take on things, and it's just something that I've had in my head for like a long time. Like I would love to just like play through these movies. Like obviously we've seen them, you know, like for me an ungodly amount of times, but there would just be something about playing through them that would be that I always like. I always enjoyed like those old games, like the Episode 3 game, where like obviously you get to play through the movie. Like movie games are not always great. Obviously, like they're pretty like notoriously bad. Movie games,
Mm.
but but I don't know. Like you have the material there already. You just kind of have to. I don't know. There's an idea in my head for that, and the idea for me is pretty cool. It might not sound appealing to everybody, but the way that I kind of have it in my head is pretty dope. It'd be kind of like Lego Star Wars mixed with like Battlefront mixed with like Jedi Academy. Like there's a lot of stuff mixed together that would make it pretty cool. Like anyway, but yeah, the whole point of this is the possibilities for Star Wars games now that you know EA won't be the exclusive you know contract dealer. Like shit. Even I would love if they just made a KOTOR remake. Like I've played through that game many times. I'd play through it again.
Many times. Again,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
forever.
absolutely. I'll stream the hell out of that, dude. Kidding me?
hmm
But yeah,
Fuck.
just give us
I'm
new
I'm
exciting
really
Star Wars
excited.
games, man.
I'm really
Yeah.
excited for the rest of the year in terms of games because I really do think we're going to see more announcements for things coming because it'd be crazy not to. Like, we got to be getting some sort of Mandalorian bounty hunter game. That's got to be happening. They'd be crazy not to do that. Um, you said Jedi Academy and made me want to play Jedi Academy again. So give me one of those. Um,
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Like playing through Jedi Fallen Order was cool, but like, man, I just the lack of like what is it? Like dismemberment and stuff. Like it kind of like I don't know, it kind of throws me off a little bit. Like it's kind of a little bit like it kind of get like it's just weird. Like you can here let me chop up a fucking spider, but like a stormtrooper is just fine, you know? Like you nothing it's kind of like it's against humans the lightsaber is like a baseball bat, but against creatures, oh yeah, you can slice and dice them all right. It's just weird. It kind of like throws me out of it for a bit sometimes. But yeah, moving on from that because we spent a good little conversation on that.
yeah.
In addition to Lucasfilm Games having more making more Star Wars stuff, there's also a new Indiana Jones game on the way from Bethesda and the Wolfenstein team. Uh Bethesda threw out a teaser, a little short teaser up on Twitter. Uh it's basically just like a little 30-second thing with the music and you see like a bunch of like books and like a cup of coffee and you got like a typewriter and then there's like little stuff on them like the camera has like Lucasfilm games on it and like there's Bethesda on the book and so on and so forth, but ultimately you see the hat and the whip and they pick it up and yeah, it's basically just an announcement. uh the Indiana Jones game is being made by Machine Games and executive produced by Todd Howard. uh there is no launch date or window or platforms. uh Another thing to note is that Lucasfilm is going to be celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Raiders of the Lost Ark's premiere. Uh, and they also said that it will feature an original story and isn't an adaptation of an earlier one.
Cool. I'm excited
Um,
for this.
yeah, me too. I love Indiana Jones, so I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm excited.
Well,
Very
it's Lucasfilm, it's Bethesda, it's Wolfenstein. I will say it's the team that did the New Blood, um, that Wolfenstein game, which had some issues with it. But I mean, it's Indiana Jones. If they fuck this up, they're dumb. Like, how do you fuck up Indiana Jones? Like, really? I don't
yeah.
think Lucasfilm Games will let them fuck it up. So,
Yeah, I
um,
mean, I hope not. The track record seems to be pretty good lately with the past couple games we've gotten from Star Wars and whatnot. So
I'm pretty excited for it. Um,
yeah,
I'm actually surprised that they hadn't done one earlier. To be honest, like
It's
Like they gave.
I'm trying to think of like when was the last time there was an Indiana Jones game?
Honestly, it seemed like a few years ago that it was like
Because like
Disney and Lucasfilm were like, we're not going to deal with games right now. So they just gave it to EA for like however many years, right?
yeah, this is
But now,
like almost 10 years ago. Yeah, they were like, all right, we're not gonna be doing this anymore. So
which always led me to believe, hey, we're not interested in games right now. However, this seems to have changed.
oh, I mean,
Um,
it has for sure.
because now we're getting what Indiana Jones, we're getting a lot of more Star Wars games coming down. Like it's like somebody told them, "Wake the fuck up and smell the coffee." You know how much money you're gonna miss out on? You're just throwing it at EA, man. Look at all the you're stifling creativity. You got Indiana Jones over here. What are you doing, man? Wake up! So somebody woke those people up, and they're like, "Yeah, we're fucking. What are we doing? Look at the past, man. We can make all these cool games now. Indiana Jones, more Star Wars. I'm about it." We're gonna
Sure.
probably see some High Republic games. I would
Yeah, I
imagine.
mean yeah, actually, yeah, that would be pretty cool. I mean, it's funny because like everybody's talking about like KOTOR remake, and as much as I would love that, what if they did like a Knights of the High Republic instead of a Knights of the Old Republic?
I'm about it. Hell, that might be what we do in our Star Wars tabletop game. Who knows? Like Knights of the High Republic sounds pretty dope to me. I'm in.
Yeah, right.
It's a
I'd
place we
be
haven't seen before, really.
yeah, I'd be about it, dude. I'm all for it for sure. So definitely let's hope for the best because we got some stuff cooking and coming in the future. So it's exciting. Um. Anyway, moving on from the LucasArts game news, Phasmophobia's ghosts have gotten better at hearing. Uh, they added a small update to the game where the ghosts will now listen to player voices while hunting, and they'll search locations where players have been speaking. So, yeah, you
It's
gotta.
funny. We always thought they already did that, but
Well, maybe
apparently they
that's what.
didn't.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're like. Oh, well, we're finally gonna add this because you guys thought it was in the game anyway. I just thought that was funny, and then also like, uh, they'll like open the door. So like, if you're hiding somewhere where the door is, you kind of have to like hold the door like shut so they won't like open it while you're in there. Um, but yeah, I've tried it out since, and I haven't experienced that yet, if that makes sense. But I also haven't played a whole lot of it since the new update. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm looking for them to add like more maps and stuff for me to like like get back into it for real, because like we I remember when this game first came out, we played quite a bit of it,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I mean, it's just been a bit.
Yeah, I'm kind of like I'm just waiting for a few updates, and let it get a little further along, then I'll come
Yeah,
back to it. That's how I
exactly.
do a lot of games that are in early access. Like I'll play the shit out of it, especially the co-op stuff because we always play that shit together. And but then we'll take a break for a while, let some patches come along. Same thing would do with like 7 Days to Die,
Yeah.
or stuff like that. When big patches hit, we'll go back and play another 40 hours of it, even more than that sometimes.
Oh yeah. All right.
Lord.
Well, so next up we have some Ghost of Tsushima feel good news is that
Yeah, I think I put this in here. Did I put this
yeah,
article in here?
yeah, you did.
Well, here, allow me to
All right,
take
go
over
for
for
it.
this one then. So, Ghost of Tsushima fans helped crowdfund repairs to a typhoon hit island. So, I'm just going to read the article here pretty quick. It's a pretty short article. So, a crowdfunding campaign a crowdfunding campaign for repairs to the real life island of Tsushima has concluded with more than 27 million yen, 192,000 pounds, I guess that is. Um, has been raised thanks in part to donations from fans of Ghost of Tsushima. The project will ensure the reconstruction of the Torii Gate at Tsushima's uh, Watasumi Shrine, which was destroyed by a typhoon in September of last year. The structure currently lies in pieces half submerged in water. Crowdfunding began in November via Campfire, a Japanese alternative to Kickstarter. And quickly the cause was noticed and picked up by Ghost of Tsushima fans, who have been thanked by the project's founders. Now, restoration of the Torii Gate will be ensured along with a fresh stone monument nearby, which will list the names of anyone who donated more than 10,000 yen. The shrine is scheduled to be finished by this August, if all goes well. Last November, PlayStation announced that Ghost of Tsushima had hit 5 billion in sales, making it the fastest-selling first-party original PS4 title. No doubt we'll be seeing more of this world in the future. So this was just a little bit of feel-good news I threw in here because we need some feel-good news from time to time. And I thought it was really cool that fans... I actually didn't even know about this till it was already over. But it was really great that fans helped crowdfund repairs to something they fell in love with through a video game. I think that's pretty cool. I threw it in the game and news because it is related to our games.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, we love Ghost of Tsushima, and that's really cool that like people felt the need to contribute to this and help restore the shrine. So that's awesome, man. That's it's really cool when gamers can come together and do some awesome shit like that. So shout out to them.
Hell yeah. Did
Moving
I
on.
put this next one in or did you do this? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I think this might be one of mine.
All right, go for it.
Let me read it. So, Gotham Knights, that co-op game set in Gotham with the Gotham Knights, has entirely redesigned combat from the Arkham games. So Gotham Knights, I'm going to read just a little bit of this article here. It's on Games Radar. Gotham Knights is stepping out from the shadows of the Arkham series with a totally revised, co-op friendly approach to brawling. The upcoming project from WB Games Montreal, the developers of Batman Arkham Origins, takes place in its own fictional universe that's separate from the Arkham series, which original Arkham developer Rocksteady is continuing with the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. In a new interview from our latest Big in 2021 Spotlight, the developers of Gotham Knights told us about how and why they're stepping away from the Arkham's often imitated combat system. Quoting, "We have entirely redesigned the combat system in order for it to work well in co-op, because part of the experience is really exciting for us." Executive producer Flower Marty told us. Of course, we're still a brawler, and some of the mechanics won't feel totally alien for people who played and enjoyed the Arkham series, but it is in many ways very different. Designing a combat system from scratch has its challenges indeed, but it's been a very stimulating one, and we're very proud of the result. While Arkham Knight prominently featured tag team fights that brought in multiple members of the Bat family, it was focused solely on being a single-player adventure game. You can tackle Gotham Knights solo as well as if you prefer, but you may as well have even more fun if you create your own dynamic duo. The two-player dynamic fits the fantasy and the Gotham City setting. The duo or team-up is such a central feature of the universe that there's a literal shorthand for it in the comics and animation in the films and TV versions. And Gotham is a city of all alleyways and rooftops, so the footprint of gameplay needs to be compatible with that. So just a few little tidbits on that Gotham Knights game that we saw a while back. Not a whole lot there, but I did throw it in here. I think it was me that threw it in here. Just so we could read it over. So that's the Gotham Knights part. Daniel, if you want to take back over, I believe the rest of this is yours.
Just to add on, just to speak on the Gotham Knights, I'm looking forward to that game. I know it's coming out this year at some point.
Me too.
I love DC, so the chance to play as Nightwing Batgirl, Robin, and the Red Hood is gonna be awesome. Like that's a
Hell
fucking
yeah, and we get to do it with co-op, man.
yeah,
Co-op. That's
that's
so
a solid
cool.
four squad team right there. So I'm all about it. I do like that they're changing the combat up from the Arkham stuff too. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and the reasons that they gave are pretty cool. So I'm yeah, just looking forward to it. I aside from this, we haven't really heard anything about the game a whole lot recently, but that's probably just good news. They're probably just working on the game and doing what they need to do. So I am excited for this one. Cannot wait to play it when I get the chance to. So definitely looking forward to that. Next up, that Harry Potter game, Hogwarts Legacy, has been delayed to 2022. So it's been delayed for a year. They put out a tweet with an image saying, and I quote, "We would like to thank fans from around the world on the tremendous reaction to the announcement of Hogwarts Legacy from our Portkey Games label. Creating the best possible experience for all of the wizarding world and gaming fans is paramount to us. So we are giving the game the time it needs. Hogwarts Legacy will be released in 2022." And guess what the first comment is? With without knowing, guess what it is
Um,
in the tweet.
this is good. Is it a swipe at Cyberpunk?
Great. We do not want another Cyberpunk 2077. Take all the time you need. Like, damn.
It's true. It's true.
I mean,
We've
like,
said repeatedly, let the games cook to completion.
yeah, like honestly, like you would think that people would learn by now, but I don't know, man. They just love like rushing games out, man, when they're not ready for some reason.
Yeah,
Because the corpos need their you know
their bottom line.
need to satisfy their greed or
They're
whatever.
they're not chums at all, man.
No,
Um,
they're the opposite of chums. They're gonks, bro.
they're fucking gonks. Um, I'm not a big Harry Potter guy, like at all, really.
I'm not either.
But
Like
but I
it's
thought the game
fine.
looked neat.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
it's like if it looks good enough, I'll give it a shot. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But
Also,
yeah,
I also think this delay probably it's not a bad thing to kind of get away from put a little distance between the game and J.K. Rowling and some of her comments.
yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah.
Yeah. What else we have here? So speaking of Cyberpunk 2077, here we have a roadmap and DLC, and I believe you put this in here. So if you want to
I
speak on
did
it,
put this in here. So this was Cyberpunk 27's first major update coming in the next 10 days. It's already out. This article is a little bit dated at this point, but a few weeks ago, they had put out a little like a roadmap of what they wanted to do. It has a nice little kind of planning out their schedule on what they want to do things. But let's see here. Following the disastrous launch of Cyberpunk 2077, CD Projekt Red says it will release the first update, which is now out. Um, and it's going to have to kind of lay the groundwork for a big, more significant patch in the weeks after this patch. In the video release, the co-founder Mark uh, in Witsky issued a mea culpa to players, adding that he and the board members are the final decision makers for the game's faulty release. Please do not fault any of the team members for what happened. So it was kind of like a little bit of an apology video. Cyberpunk launched on December 10th with immediate problems. While the game's PC release was mostly praised by critics, console players, particularly those playing on the older generations, ran into widespread bugs, frame rate issues, and more. That's talking about some of the controversy stuff, which we all know by this point. I don't want to have to say it again. But there is a roadmap out there for more updates in the future. I know they do this patch, they do another patch, and then another patch, and then like maybe toward the end of this year you'll get the Cyberpunk that was promised for console players and everything working without crashing and such. But yeah, that's a little bit old news now.
I
Mm,
mean, yeah,
yeah.
hopefully they'll just continue to keep improving the game over time. Hopefully they can stick to that roadmap and just continue to improve it.
Yeah. We just don't want them to like abandon it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we did this, we did these few patches and then we're gone. Like, no, that's not cool. Do what was kind of promised and stuff like that. They already made their money back, so fucking man. What's next, Daniel? What you got?
Final thing we have here for gaming news is that new Pokemon Snap arrives on April 30th, and there's a little minute and a
Oh,
half.
there's a little video.
Yeah, little video here. So I forget it. Did you ever play the original Pokemon Snap on the 64?
I did. I did. It's been a long time, but
Yeah, I
yes, I
mean
did.
it's been a long time since I played it as well, but I always enjoyed that one, and this one I kind of like. I don't know, like I'm not as huge into Pokemon as I used to be nowadays, but I still like
Yeah.
enjoy Pokemon, like Gen 1 and all that like, early stuff is what I'm all about. So like part of me like wants to get this for nostalgia reasons, but I don't know, man. There's gonna be Pokemon out there that I'm like, I don't know what that is, but picture uh it looks pretty cool though. Like there's look at that toucan looking thing, and then there's I don't know, it just looks pretty neat. Like I'm not like super into like the some of the other Pokemon games as much anymore. But something like this I feel like would be more my more what I would enjoy. Just
Yes.
a nice chill game where you just take pictures of Pokemans, dude. It'd be great. And yeah, it looks good. They like I said, they finally gave it a release date, April 30th. So that'll be out in like 3 months. Uh, and yeah, it looks like a nice, chill, relaxing game. Which sometimes sometimes you just need
It's
a
what you
cool,
need,
chill,
man.
relaxing game, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
from all the cool, epic, action adventure, FPS, shoot 'em up, crazy shits that we have. It's nice to play a nice little smaller chill game like this. So I'll probably end up getting that at some point. I don't know when, but yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be nice to play that. But yeah, that's all we got here for the gaming news. So we can probably move on to TV if there's nothing left.
Put the gaming news in a body bag. We're moving
Put 'em
on.
in a body bag. All right, let's go ahead and move on. So our first piece of news here for the TV stuff is that the Umbrella Academy season 3 unveiled its cast for the Sparrow Academy, which apparently also includes a telekinetic cube. Um,
Oh,
yeah. So we're getting a few people. Justin Cornwell is playing Marcus, aka Sparrow number one. We're Justin H. Min, who who is Ben, from the Umbrella Academy. Uh, and he is gonna be Sparrow number two. And then we have Brittany Oldford, who will be playing Faye, aka Sparrow number three. Jake Epstein, who will be playing Alfonso, Sparrow number four. Genesis Rodriguez, who will be playing Sloan, Sparrow number five. Kazi David uh, will be Jamie, Sparrow number six. And then here's where the cube part comes in. Existential dread inducing Cycronium cube will play Christopher, Sparrow number seven. So I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean, but yeah, there's your seven Sparrow Academy cast members. There's a picture in the link there that shows you all the Sparrow Academy. But yeah, they're coming in season 3, so I'm very curious to see what this is about. I haven't read the comics or anything for Umbrella Academy. I only
me
watched the
neither.
show, and the way that they left off season 2, for those of you who have seen it, is going to be very intriguing to see what they do for season 3. So I'm looking forward to this whenever this is coming out. But yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. I like it, but I'm not crazy over it. But I'm definitely looking forward to the next season because they leave off on a pretty big cliffhanger.
Yeah. Yep. 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 Yep.
All right.
Next up.
Uh, the Cobra Kai thing I put on here.
Mhm.
Um, just that the season 3 soundtrack is out now on Spotify and elsewhere. So if you like Cobra Kai and want to listen to the soundtrack, it's on Spotify and elsewhere now.
Let's
Woo!
go listen to that Miyagi metal.
Oh, it's so good. All right.
Uh, moving on. Ethan Hawke joins the Moon Knight Disney Plus series. Apparently, he is gonna be playing the show's lead villain. That's what the I mean the exact details are under wraps, but obviously it's being reported here that he will be playing the lead villain in the show, and we know that Oscar Isaac is gonna be Moon Knight himself. So we'll be seeing Oscar Isaac go up against Ethan Hawke, and that's kind of cool. Uh, but yeah, that's pretty neat. I'm looking forward to Moon Knight a lot. I like the character of Moon Knight quite a bit. He's basically like Marvel's Batman, but there's a bit to him, more to him than that. But that's kind of like the gist of it. Or not the gist of it, but that's like the basic description, is what I meant to say. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the show quite a bit. So, and again, I always say this, but anytime you add talent to your production, that's a good thing. So yeah, very 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 cool. Uh, there is a Dungeons and Dragons series adaptation uh
Legasp.
being being worked on by the writer of John Wick. Derek Kolstad, writer for the John Wick franchise, will write and develop a series pitch based around the popular game Dungeons and Dragons. Uh, Kolstad is also writing for Marvel's The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus. Um, this is interesting to me because they're also working on on a Dungeons and Dragons movie. So
Yeah.
this we're talking about them working on a show right now, but they've also like have wanted to have a movie that's starring Chris Pine, uh, which is set for release next year. The movie has spent years and years in early creative stages because in 2016 it was reported that Ansel Elgort was going to be the lead, but all that's it's been years since then, and now it's going to be directed by Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly. Uh, but Hasbro's E1 is pushing for the series that would build upon the stories and fantasy world of the multiplayer game. Uh, there's no details on what they're wanting to do with this particular series, but yeah, what do you think, Josh, about them working on not only a D&D movie that's supposed to be coming out next year, but now they're getting the John Wick and Falcon Winter Soldier writer to work on a show?
I think it's pretty cool. Um, I was just sitting here thinking like you could Jumanji this, right? You could have like all the kids playing D&D and then they get sucked into like the fucking board, right? Like you could do that.
Yeah,
That'd be kind of cool.
that'd be one way to do it. Yeah.
That's probably how I would do it. But I don't know. I mean I'm excited. I think it's cool. I think it's exciting, but the whole thing with D&D is you can tell any story you want, any way you want, pretty much. So um, it's all up to the players and the dungeon master. So it's exciting.
Multiple D&D projects in the works. We'll see what they do with them. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
D&D video games in the works too, like Baldur's Gate 3 and stuff. So
All right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
all this is coming out there. All I gotta say is they better show they need to throw a cameo in there for Joe Manganiello.
Yeah,
Manganiello.
Manganiello, yeah. I mean, they probably. I mean, shit. They'll get him in there somewhere. He's probably gonna be involved in the movie or something. When that comes
Bro,
out.
I'd throw him in there. Fucking put him in there, some jacked badass. He loves that D&D shit, man.
He sure does. He sure does. I guess we can move on to the next topic. Uh, Amazon has set the release date for Robert Kirkman's Invincible, which we've talked about Invincible here several times on the podcast.
Yeah.
Invincible is that new hour-long animated series uh, that has a pretty solid cast, including Sandra Oh, Seth Rogen, Jillian Jacobs, Zazie Beetz, Mark Hamill, and Walton Goggins. Um, oh, and of course J.K. Simmons as Omni Man. But it will premiere the first 3 episodes on March 26th, and then with each every week after that, and including April 30th, there will be a new episode. Uh, but yeah, I definitely want to check this out. I don't know a whole lot about the comic series, but it's Robert Kirkman's second longest running comic book series after The Walking Dead, of course. It concluded its 15-year run in February of 2018. Um, but yeah, I don't know a whole lot about this. This is just gonna be one of those things where like it's a superhero type related thing, and the cast is fucking solid as hell with all those names that I named off. Which
Hmm.
I didn't even mention that the main character uh is gonna be voiced by Steven Yeun, which is pretty cool. Uh, Another name to the list of names. Uh, but yeah, this is rad, dude. Amazon has done the whole like we're gonna drop the first 3 episodes here, and then every week one after that. They did that with The Boys, if you remember as well. So that seems to be kind of their method of doing things. Here's the first three, and then we'll do one a week after that. Disney Plus kind of did that with WandaVision as well. They dropped the first two, and then they've been doing one a week since then. So yeah, I don't know. I'm interested. I'm intrigued by the show, so I'll definitely be giving it a shot. Be checking it out. Um, yeah. Again, I like the cast, and we'll see what comes of it. But we have a release date now, so March 26th, first 2 episodes.
Hell yeah.
The Game of Thrones prequel, Tales of Dunk and Egg, is in early development at HBO. The series adaptation of Tales of Dunk and Egg, a prequel to the events of Game of Thrones, is in early development at HBO. The 1 hour show will be based on the series of fantasy novellas by George R. Martin, which follow the adventures of Sir Duncan the Tall, aka Dunk, and the young Aegon Targaryen, aka Egg, 90 years prior to the events of A Song of Ice and Fire. Uh, no writer or talent is currently attached to the project, but sources say it is a high priority for HBO as they look to build upon the success of Game of Thrones. Uh, but should the project make it to a full production series, it would be the second prequel to make it to screen because they're currently working on the House of Dragon, as we know, which is slated to debut in 2022. And that show, for those who don't remember, will be the build up to the Targaryen civil war in Westeros known as the Dance of Dragons. So yeah, there we go. They're working on all the prequels for Game of Thrones.
It's hard for me to get excited about Game of Thrones stuff. Like, I know those other dudes aren't attached to it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But man, that last season left us such a terrible taste.
It really
It's just
did.
like,
It did for me as well, but
maybe these will be good. I hope they are. I hope they're not terrible.
I hope so. I mean,
I want more good shit. I don't want bad shit. I want good shit.
I think for me, like, I probably won't get like super excited for any of this until I see like a trailer. Like until we see a trailer for like the House of Dragon, I'll
Yeah.
probably get a little bit more amped about it. But yeah, for right now, I'm kind of like you. I'm just like that last season of Game of Thrones was just, ugh, man. I know we talked about it on this podcast after it.
Oh, we shit all over it.
Yeah, it was. Oh man. Anyway,
It would do
uh,
do.
yeah, I'm not a fan, not a fan. But yeah, I mean, I can only hope that the other stuff they have planned is gonna be better. Again, those two dudes who were in charge of the Game of Thrones series are not involved. So yeah, it's just a matter of time. We'll have to end up seeing what happens with that. Anyway, I think that's it with the TV news. So we can move on to movie news.
Put it in a body bag.
First
Hmm.
piece of all right, well, let's just go ahead. First piece of movie news we have is that Kevin Feige confirms that Deadpool 3 is an MCU movie and teases R rating. Uh so uh they were speaking with Kevin Feige in anticipation of the of WandaVision coming out. And during that conversation, Kevin Feige gave an update on Deadpool 3. Uh like when it'll he revealed when it'll begin filming and that the sequel will be a part of the MCU. So let me go ahead and quote uh let me read his quote, I should say. Um so this is what he said. It will be rated R and we are working on a script right now. And Ryan's overseeing a script right now. It will not be filming this year. Ryan is a very busy, very successful actor. We've got a number of things we've already announced that we now have to make, but it's exciting for it to have begun. Again, a very different type of character in the MCU, and Ryan is a force of nature, which is just awesome to see him bring that character to life. So it won't begin filming until at the very least next year. So until at least 2022. And we've said in the past that they have a team of sisters working hard to getting a script together with Ryan Reynolds. Um, the MCU has a lot going for it right now. They have a lot of stuff going on. They have Thor 4, Spider-Man 3, Black Panther 2, Doctor Strange 2, Captain Marvel 2. So it makes sense that Deadpool 3 probably won't be starting up anything until next year. So at the very least, it probably won't be in theaters until 2023 at the very least. But you never know. I probably we who knows where we could see Deadpool again. Now that he's gonna be a part of the MCU, they could put him in probably just about anything. Like how crazy would it be if they just like throw in Deadpool in like WandaVision or some shit? Or like Doctor Strange too, you know, because they're gonna be going into the multiverse of madness or whatever. Like he could probably fit in there somewhere. So I wouldn't be surprised if they, threw him in somewhere else. I want to see that first meeting of him meeting Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Like that's gonna be hilarious. That's gonna be hilarious, dude. Because Deadpool and Spider-Man always have a great back and forth, so that'll be exciting.
It's pretty
Uh,
cool.
yeah. This next piece here should have been in the TV news. I don't know why it's here, but anyway, that's probably a mishap on my behalf. But anyway, John M. Chu announces that he is exiting from the Disney Plus Willow reboot. Uh, as series director. It was announced in October 2020 that he would be directing, and that Warwick Davis would reprise his role as Willow Ufgood in the Willow series. Um, but he had to share some news on Twitter that he would be leaving. Uh, the production schedule moving to due to the lockdowns in the UK, and he has a new baby on board coming in the summer, and just the timing is not it just won't be working out for him and his family, so he had to back out from being the director of the series. So
That's a bummer.
yeah, I mean, sometimes things just don't work out, for one reason or another, and you know it's unfortunate, but what can you do? uh Here we have some we're going to be talking about some delays and one movie that was pushed ahead among the many delays. So let's talk about some delays real quick, and then we'll talk about the one movie that got pushed up. So our first delay is Morbius with Jared Leto has delayed its release date. The movie, which was going to be well, it's been delayed a number of times now, as most movies have been during the whole pandemic. It was scheduled to release on March 19th, but it's now coming out on October 8th. Um, uh, yeah, so that's another one that's been pushed back. Another one that's been pushed back is The King's Man. Uh, March or 12th. I don't know if actually hold on. That one was supposed to be, I think, coming out on March 12th, and now it's coming out on August 20th.
Hmm.
So they're still moving movies around, man. It's pretty nuts. And there's also like mention of like Disney hasn't said anything about Black Widow, but like there's maybe a possibility that that one gets moved as well. I kind of hope not, because I mean I want to see some I want to see these movies eventually, man. Like if they keep getting pushed back, when the fuck are we gonna see them? But like I mean they just need to do what fucking HBO Max is doing, man. Just throw them up on HBO Max and or throw them up on Disney Plus, and then put them in theaters as well if you want to. But I mean, people shouldn't be going to theaters right now, anyways. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
At least have the option, I suppose. Uh, but yeah, Morbius pushback, Kingsman pushback. What else we have here? A Quiet Place 2 also has a new release date. Um, it's been delayed for the third time now. This movie, and it will now open in theaters on September 17th. Quiet Place 2 was originally supposed to release last March, so March 2020. And those plans were abandoned, and it was moved to April 23rd of this year. But then that release date is still looking unlikely, so they've pushed it back yet again to September 17th. So yet another movie that has been moved backwards. Um, No Time to Die, another one that's been pushed back quite a few times already. It was supposed to be releasing on April 2nd, but now it's being pushed to October 8th. So a lot of these movies are getting pushed from like early this year to like fall, which
It's kind
yeah,
of funny. We talked about this a few podcasts ago, when we talked about delays, and we talked about Dune getting delayed and how it delayed so far.
yeah,
And I believe we said like that one's probably the one with the most realistic push date for when us getting back to theaters. And I feel like this just kind of reinforces that, because all that shit's getting pushed back to almost where Dune got pushed back to now.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, like we're still in the middle of this, man.
mm-hmm,
Like we're still in this pandemic shit. Dude. You still gotta wear masks when you go out. You still
mm-hmm,
have to fucking be careful, because I mean, like, I'll be honest, the situation out here is like I feel like it's just been getting worse and worse, like constantly, like all the time out here where I live. So I don't see like an end for this. You know what I mean? Like we're still dead in the middle of it. I don't know when it's gonna end. If I The optimist in me wants to say that hopefully by the end of this year, by 2022 we'll be out of it, but I don't know, dude. I really don't know. I
I
have
hope so,
no
man.
idea.
I want out of this. Let me out.
We all want out of this, but like people need to fucking do their part and stop contributing to us getting worse.
Yeah.
They need to stop throwing these stupid ass parties and fucking stay away from each other. Wear your mask when you do need to go out, and keep your distance. Fucking wash your shit, all of your shit, and stay clean, and Just stop being fucking idiots. Like we need to get this shit under control, man. I mean, it doesn't help that the last administration that we had here in the states didn't really, you know, like I was reading something in the news. I think like it was like on Facebook like yesterday or some that like our new president Joe Biden had to like I couldn't believe it. I forget what the exact wording was, but basically it's like he's gonna make it now so that like people entering the country have to have like obviously
Quarantine.
you wear your mask and everything, but you have to have like a thing of like, here's my last, COVID test, and I'm not currently, I don't currently have it, and it's it just boggles my mind sometimes how like some shit that's like so fucking like common sense and like we should have been doing already, we weren't, and some of it we still aren't, and it's like how are we what are we doing, man?
Yeah.
It just fucking boggles my mind. But anyway, it's mini rant. I digress. Yeah, I mean, again, I hope that by next year we'll be out of this, but I don't know, dude. It's as of right now, as the time of this recording, I have no idea, dude. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, every all these movies are getting pushed until the fall. Lots more delays happening and coming. I'm kind of glad we haven't done our 2021 things to look forward to,
Yeah.
like with the games and movies, because shit's still moving around, and it will continue to do so, obviously. But like, you know, as long as it comes out this year, then I suppose we'll be okay. Uh, but yeah, and then the last thing that we have here is that Godzilla versus Kong release date moved ahead. It didn't get delayed, moved ahead by not 1 but 2 months. So, yeah, nearly every movie has been, you know, delayed and pushed back and all this stuff. Uh Godzilla will be fighting King Kong on March 26th instead of May 21st. So we're about 2 months away from Kong versus Gojira. Uh, and not only this, but tomorrow, at the time of this recording, tomorrow, as in uh, the 24th of January, Sunday, they will be releasing a trailer. Uh, so by this time next week, we will have seen something about this movie. So
Exciting.
we'll definitely talk about the trailer next week. And yeah, it's exciting because I haven't been like the biggest fan of the new Godzilla movies. Like like I remember we talked about the King of the Monsters last year
Hmm.
or the year before, whenever the hell that movie came out. I think it was like 2 years ago. Uh, and I wasn't like the biggest fan, but I mean, there was some stuff in there that was pretty cool, But I don't know. I'm just hoping for, as always, I'm just hoping for a good movie. I want to see Kong and Godzilla fuck each other up. Uh, have a good fight. Although what I think they're gonna do is they're gonna pull a Batman v Superman. And what I mean by that is they're gonna be fighting and they're gonna be fighting for a little bit, and then they're gonna join forces and fight another monster.
Could
Like
be.
how much you want to bet that happens, man? Like I don't know why they can't just let like things fight each other, Like they have to be like, oh, let's fight, and then oh no, there's the bigger threat. We have to join forces to fight. But anyway, I don't know. I'll probably well, I don't know. I should say that. I hope to enjoy it, but we will see. We'll see more about how I feel about this after the trailer tomorrow. But yeah, they're bringing back some cast members from the Godzilla King of the Monsters. And that being said about the Godzilla movies, I really enjoy Kong Skull Island probably more than most people. I really like that movie. I think I actually really 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 like that movie. I think it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I think out of the three movies, the two newer Godzillas and the Kong Skull Island is probably my favorite one. But there was some cool stuff like in Godzilla 2014. There's some stuff in that one that I enjoy as well. It's unfortunate some of the things that happened in that, like Bryan Cranston, but eh,
It's
and
true.
like and like they kept like the Godzilla reveal until like the end of the movie, and but the fight in that movie was cool. So I don't know, like there's stuff that I like in those movies, the two new Godzilla ones, but I don't know, man. I just want to see two fucking monsters fight, bro. Like I get that you need to have humans and shit to make the story relatable, whatever. For people that need that, sure. I don't need it personally, but I know there's people out there that wouldn't be able to relate to two giant monsters fighting each other. Um, I just want to see these guys go at it. I want to see a fun monster movie. And other than that, we'll see, dude. I don't know. I hope the music is good as well, because I think the music for the movies has been pretty solid up until this point. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. You hoping for anything in particular and for the trailer tomorrow or for the movie? We were 2 months away from it actually coming out.
Uh, I just hope it has a good soundtrack. Like I like the music in King of the Monsters. Um, I don't really have any thoughts on it. Like I'm kind of like you. I don't have a lot of like I don't hate the new Godzilla movies at all, but I'm not like the
Mhm.
biggest fan either. Like if I was Jake, obviously I'd have more to say because Jake is a super Godzilla fan. Like we should probably have him on here to talk about Godzilla at some point in the future for
Yeah,
fun. But
yeah, for sure.
I I don't have like a lot of thoughts on it. I think I'm kind of excited. I remember growing up and watching the old Godzilla versus Kong movies. But yeah, it's pretty exciting.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess that's it then for our news. We went through all of it, so there you go.
That's it for the news. You can put it all in a body bag because we're going to move on to the second part of our show, which is we're going to talk season three. I almost said two
Season three,
of, of
Cobra
Cobra
Kai.
Kai. I keep trying to say season two, I think, because like I can't believe it's so good. And I've watched it like a billion times. Um, so I guess where do we start with this? We'll start with we already said we liked it. I
Yeah,
like it a lot. I know you like it a lot.
I absolutely loved it. I thought it was just incredible, man. The way that they handled some stuff in this season, I was like, it was fantastic. It was really emotional too. Like,
Which, by the way, we're gonna spoil the shit out of this. So
oh
this is
yeah,
your
so
warning now.
yeah, if you
We're
haven't seen
spoiling
it,
the shit out of it. Let me put up
if
a
you
little
haven't seen
text thing
it,
for us too.
then get out of here. But
Let me open up the text thing so we can put Cobra Kai. I'm just gonna put spoilers, not spoilers, spoilers. Just
bowlers.
in general, because we'll be talking probably about some of the stuff that happened in previous
Oh
seasons
yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
well. All right, so season three.
Season three. Where do you even start? I'm trying to remember like how the hell did we start off the Mandalorian season two stuff? Like how do we start that? I don't even remember. But
Shit, son.
we can start wherever. I don't. It's fine with me.
Well, we so season three opens up and Miguel is when we left season two, right? Which spoilers for season two. Um, Miguel got kicked off the fucking balcony by Robbie, right? And he fell down
Mhm.
and fucked his back up. There was the big school fight happened, and that kind of sets us up into season three with Miguel
Season
in
three.
like a little coma,
Mhm.
Robbie on the run, and kind of just the fallout from the school fights happening.
Mhm.
Um, uh, I don't know. I don't think I want to necessarily do like an episode by episode breakdown, but
No,
more like an
no.
overall deal.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, we didn't do that for Mando. That's why I was trying to remember how do we review the season two for Mando because I don't remember. But
I feel like we kind of hopped around and just kind of talked about what we liked, if I remember right.
yeah, that's kind
Um,
of what it was. But I don't remember. But anyway, it was something like that. Yeah.
um, I'll start off by saying the fights this season. I'm just gonna talk about the fights in general.
Go
Looked
for it.
really good. A lot of great action scenes. Do I have a personal? I'm trying to think. Do I have a personal? Do you have a personal favorite fight?
Fight?
Yeah, like that happened.
I'm trying to like go through all the fights in my head for the season. Um, when I think the fights that I can think of, I enjoyed, but like not for like the fight itself, but like for like more emotional reasons. You know,
Yeah, like
like the Chosen versus Daniel fight was pretty good.
mm-hmm.
The final fight, you know which one I'm talking about with Johnny, Daniel, and Kreese. That one was
Oh my
great.
god, that one was dope.
Uh,
My favorite moment's the Hawk double turn, man. When he fucking turns back, he comes back to the light side, man. I love
oh
that
yeah,
moment.
yeah. That's a pretty good moment when they're all fighting in the house and everybody's just beating the shit out of each other, and he's like seeing his boy he's like getting all fucked up and stuff, and he's like, all right, this is it. This is where the call to the light, as
Mhm.
Josh put it, he turns back to the light side and he swoops in and beats the shit out of those two guys, and there it is.
Uh,
Hawk is back, baby.
Hawk had a very conflicted season. I really liked his
He
arc this
did.
season.
He really did.
Um, struggling, struggling
Yeah.
with being like a bully. He breaks Dimitri's arm
I was gonna
in this
mention that.
season.
That's like after he broke his arm and everything. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
like
And
you
then
can
like
tell he's real torn up inside throughout the whole season. Yeah,
yeah, then
but
like at the beginning of the season when he sees the freshman girl, he's like, "Hey girls, I'm the," and then they're like, "Oh, the dude who pissed himself or whatever." Like, damn. It's like he went through the ringer this season, man. Like, and then from seeing the fuck, what's that guy's name again? Kyler or whatever.
yeah.
From seeing him and the other big boy join Cobra Kai after Kreese went
Oh my
recruiting and stuff.
god,
Like,
he
oh, you're
beats
Lip.
the fuck out of that dude.
Yeah. He remembers when they used to call him Lip, and he just beats the shit out of Big Boy, and he fucks him up,
Yeah,
man.
he like Kreese tells him to finish him, but he's already beaten this. He's just pounding the shit out of him. His hands are bleeding. He
The
fucking
moment
spits on the dude.
where
Oh my god.
he's so ready to beat that dude's ass, and it never fails to crack me up. But every time dude takes off his shirt or something, and you see the tat on his back, you hear the hawk noise. That shit cracks me up, dude. I don't know why. It's just so funny, like just hearing the bird go, "Pew," and then like I don't know. It's great. It's great, man. But yeah,
uh,
he had a pretty cool arc this season. Hawk did for sure.
and you get to see him be conflicted throughout it, and which leads to his turning. You know, since Robbie joins Cobra Kai, and Hawk's like, "This is the final straw. I can't."
Dude,
But you know,
speaking of that, I fucking love that there's 3 dojos now.
yeah.
There's Miyagi Do, there's Cobra Kai, and Eagle Fang, baby. Let's
Eagle
go.
Fang. We gotta
Eagle
get Eagle
Fang.
Fang shirts.
Yeah, Eagle Fang. Eagle Fang is not for the pussies. Fucking
There's
Eagle
only one
Fang.
animal that can kill a snake. A
Mongoose?
mongoose? A
No,
real
a real
animal,
animal.
Bert. That shit cracked me up, dude.
Eagles don't
That
have
was so funny. That was so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I loved it so much.
It's fantastic, dude. I fucking love that shit, dude. I wasn't sure what the hell they were gonna come up with the name. I was like, well, you have Miyagi Do, you have Cobra Kai. What are you gonna do that's kind of like a spin-off of Cobra Kai? Like what animal are you gonna choose? What are you gonna do? And an eagle fang, which not it's not bad, not bad. I like it. They're
The
going,
name sounds cool.
yeah, and they're
The,
correcting. They're
the
going
funny
with
thing
Red.
when he was trying to be Cobra Kai with a K, and Miguel's like, "You mean like KKK?" That
Oh
shit was
yeah,
so funny. He's
"Oh,
like,
maybe
"Yeah, you're right.
we
That's probably a
should
bad
go."
idea."
Which, speaking of that moment, fucking the part where they're like trying to update Johnny's Facebook, and he busts out all these pictures of him without a shirt, and then and then Miguel's like, maybe we should do something more recent. He's like, oh, you want to oil me up or whatever? It's like, I'm not gonna oil
Baby
you
oil
up or
gets
whatever.
everywhere.
That shit was funny as hell, dude. Fucking Johnny just being for a lack of a better term, a fucking absolute boomer at just social media is the funniest thing, dude. God damn,
Uh,
that shit's hilarious, man.
um,
I should crack
overall,
up.
something else I liked is like I felt like season 2 was a little hard, a little heavy on the high school drama kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Season three kind of dials that back a little bit.
Yeah.
I enough that it doesn't bother me. Like it did bother me just a smidge in season two. It was a little bit much. But in
Yeah. Yeah.
season three's got the perfect balance between everything because we get a lot of stories in season three, right? We've got Hawk's story, we got Daniel's story, we got Crease's flashback
Oh
stories.
yeah. Crease
Um,
flashback.
we got all these great story arcs, and they all kind of get wrapped up because there's this season that has time jumps in it here and there, right? Like in the last episode, it's just in like I don't remember which episode Dimitri's arm gets broken, but in the last episode, he's not even in the cast anymore. So there's little time jumps that happen between episodes that I'm fine with. Those never bothered me. Um, but I know a moment you want to talk about, which is when Daniel goes to
Dude,
Japan.
when he goes to Japan, that has to be those 2 episodes when he was in Japan, 2 or 3. I forget how many it was, but I think it was like 2 episodes. I think it was episodes 4 and 5. Anyway, the 2 episodes he's in Japan, I fucking love those, man.
Mm-hmm.
They those episodes hit me with the feels, man. Like that was great, great stuff. Just seeing Kumiko again and Chosen and man, just seeing Daniel-san explore fucking like he's like, "Oh, is this it?" When he arrives off the fucking
It's
the
a
taxi
fucking
or whatever. He's like,
mall.
"It's a mall? What?"
Yeah,
Um yeah, I love the Japan stuff so much, man. It was like just hearing Kumiko read Mr. Miyagi's letters that he would send, and I don't know what it was like between her reading them and then like him Daniel reacting to them and just the acting and the emotion and everything in that scene. I will say that while I was watching the episode, it did not get to me. It almost did. It almost did. But it wasn't until the second time that I rewatched that stuff that it got me. And I don't know why. Like I didn't even notice. It just happened. I was like, what the fuck? That shit got me, dude. I was like, holy shit.
bruh. It got me. It got me.
It's an
It's so emotional.
emotional
Hmm.
sucker punch, man. That shit was crazy, man. It's so good, dude. It's so good. I can't remember the last time a show made me cry like that. Like just like I wasn't like bawling or anything, but I was like tearing up. I was like, "Holy shit, dude! What the fuck?" Like,
I
yeah, like
know.
it's such a good moment, man. Like
It's such a real moment. Like it
yeah,
just feels real. Um, and the way things look, it was a rough year. That letter says a lot and means a lot. It makes you feel good.
yeah,
In a lot of ways. So you know, it made me emotional too. Every time I
yeah.
see it, it kind of makes me emotional. It's so good.
It was something, dude. It's so good. The fact that it can make us feel that, dude, like that's such a good fucking scene, man.
It's hard to
Such a
believe this show started on YouTube. And
yeah,
here we
right?
are. Here we are. It's so good.
Yeah, it's actually like crazy, dude. It is crazy, man. I how just how much I enjoy this show more than I thought I was going to when I first started watching it, because like, oh, Karate Kai. I'm mixing the two things together. Karate Kid, uh, like oh, sequel series to Karate Kid. I figured I would enjoy it, but I just man, it's so good, dude. The way that
I
they
just
like
want to say
the way that
vindication.
they yeah.
But boy, I was on that train from first episode. I was on it.
Josh was one of those first people that I remember ever like hearing talk about that show. It's pretty nuts that we're here now. But yeah, man, I absolutely love the Japan stuff. I love that Chosen teaches Daniel the stunner moves, to keep what
Yeah, the key points.
what's the best way to keep your foe from waging war is take away the ability for him to do that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty great. With the passing of the scrolls and stuff. Um, I love all that stuff, and then seeing like Yuna, you know, the little girl from I think I was from
Yeah. So
uh
something like that, I think. Yeah.
from the move the little girl he saved during the rain, come back and
Mm-hmm.
being the one that helps him save his you know, his company was a really cool thing to do. Always great to see Kumiko again, like I mentioned. Chosen was
Yeah,
cool.
this season sets up a lot of those little mini stories that get solved, like Daniel's business being attacked by the other dude, or
By that
not being
fucking
attacked, but
asshole
for like
guy, yeah.
takeover.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to come in and buy him out. Well, that gets wrapped up in 2 or 3 episodes, and we move on to like the next thing. So, and I
Mhm.
never felt like that was bad at all. I liked it. It gave more depth to what was going
Yeah, I
on.
did
Gave
too.
Daniel reason to be in Japan.
It never felt like it was going on for too long. It felt like it was just right
Hmm.
for the amount of time.
Chosen, chosen getting redeemed, man. Was pretty. I mean, like he's already redeemed. He had redemption. He's a good guy now. Was pretty cool. It told Daniel a good lesson, which is like, no matter how bad you've done in the past, you can always turn things around and be good once again. Um, um, and him teaching Daniel and doing having a callback to the on those moment when they're fighting was good. Um, yeah, most of the Japan stuff was cool, man.
Yeah, that was probably some of my favorite stuff in the whole season.
Yeah.
Was that? Um,
And poor
yeah,
Kumiko is still madly in love with Daniel, but obviously he's married now.
the moment that I like when he's like I find it hard to believe that no one put a ring on that, you know. And she's like, well,
Hmm.
no one fought to the death for me, and he's like, oh, that's a pretty hard act to follow, you know. That was great, man. That was good stuff. Like even after all those years, man, still leaving an impression, my guy. Great stuff. Yeah, I also oh man, another thing that I loved was hot damn Elizabeth Shue was back.
Yeah, Allie Mills, man, makes the
Oh
return.
man, that lady's 57, 50 something, but oh my god. And
Still fine.
yeah, oof, man. When I saw her walk in the bar while Johnny was waiting, I was like, whew. But anyway, uh I digress. Yeah, man, that was really cool to see because you can kind of like as soon as they showed her picture when Johnny was looking through his Facebook or whatever, you're like, okay, she's coming back.
Yeah,
Because
like because she's gonna show up.
they wouldn't have showed her picture again if she wasn't coming back, you know. I think so. But anyway, it was
Agreed.
cool to
No,
have her
I knew
back.
she was coming back.
I liked her conversation with Johnny when they went on the like, well, I don't want to call it a date, but like you know when they like hung out together at the
Yeah,
when they were like, oh, this reminds us of when we were kids or whatever, you know, when they were just
we were
hanging out,
young.
the two of them, yeah. I liked the whole talk that they had with each other after that. That was really like a really cool moment, dialogue moment between the two of them. And then I
Yeah.
love when they were at the party and she's there with Johnny, and then they find Daniel and his wife, and they all have a conversation with each other and talk about like you know the stories of the past and all that kind of stuff. That was great. Having Allie and Elizabeth Shue return for this season was another really cool thing.
It was also cool to see her and Johnny act together and it not being like a hostile way. Like in the Karate Kid,
Yeah.
the whole time is like he's like a villain to her, like throughout that whole movie, depending on your point of view.
Mhm,
Um, so it's cool to be like, yeah, these were real people. They had a relationship. They cared about one another at a point, and
mhm.
then things just kind of got out of hand, and they broke up and shit. But it was cool to kind of see, like, get the glimpses of them when they were kind of young and probably in love and all that kind of stuff. So it was cool to see that
Yeah.
aspect of it. Um, yeah. Also, Daniel's wife has a lot of really funny moments.
She does,
This
and
season, man, she slaps the shit out of Kreese.
I was gonna
Like that
say
was pretty funny.
the moment where they go to the police after she slaps Crease and she's like, "Oh, I want to put a restraining order on Crease." He's like, "Oh, there's already one here against you," and she's like, "What?" And then Daniel's like, "Oh, surely, surely she didn't even touch him or whatever."
He's a
And then she
liar. He's a
and you
liar.
see yeah, and you see her face going like, "Oh," and he's like,
It's
"Wait a
so
minute,
funny.
you hit him?" That was great,
it's
man.
it's funny too watching her change in this season because in the first couple of seasons she's like,
She
"Listen, you
was so
can't do this
like,
karate stuff. What are you
yeah,
talking
she was
about? What
so
else you doing?"
anti karate, right? Yeah.
And then in this season, it's like completely different. Like she finally realizes how fucking psychotic Cobra Kai is and Kreese is.
Yeah, because
Um,
Kreese is he's a madman. Like it was cool seeing his like backstory and the flashbacks and stuff, but that doesn't take away the fact that that dude is still a bad guy.
yeah,
Like he had a fucked up past, sure, but you know that doesn't excuse the stuff he's doing now and has done. So, um,
yeah. We got Kreese story. We got flashbacks. We were in
yeah,
Vietnam. Um, and saw how Kreese kind of came to be. He had a lady.
hmm
But then he went off to Vietnam and joined the special task force and became like a got trained by the commander dude. Then they ended up getting captured. And the biggest double turn ever, where you're supposed to think
Terry
that's
Silver,
yeah,
and
and
they're like, oh,
it's
pull the
not.
fast one on you.
It's actually the other guy, the skinny toothpick dude.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, we got. I wasn't expecting those flashbacks at
It's
all.
funny
I
because
was expecting anything
I
with
was
Grease.
watching the blind wave reactions to that part that you were talking about when they get captured. They're like,
Yeah, I know
"Oh,
exactly what you're talking about.
that's Terry Silver," and they got bamboozled too. So I mean, like,
Yeah,
yeah, dude,
Eric
it
got
was
super bamboozled. It was so funny.
yeah, it was great. Yeah, man, such a great season, dude. Like, yeah, I was gonna mention the whole Terry Silver thing because it looks like at the end of the season, Kreese is hitting up his boy for some help.
We'll see.
Yeah, we shall see indeed. We shall see. And also, we have that going on, and then we have Johnny and Daniel with Eagle Fang and Miyagi-Do teaming up as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
Oh, I also want to
Um,
hop back to the country club for a second, just because it's a little moment, but I like it when they're saying
okay.
goodbye to each other, and he says,
Mhm.
"Merry Christmas, Larusso," and he says Daniel. He changed it to Daniel. Like there's I like that moment. It's a very small moment. I'm like, yeah, he called him Daniel. He doesn't call him Larusso. He like actually acknowledged him as a adult human being instead of just by his fucking last name.
By his last name,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah, so it was
it was
cool.
good, man. Yeah, it was good stuff. I enjoyed all those moments with like all like with Johnny and Daniel and the Allie and the wives and the girlfriends and fucking Carmen and Johnny finally
Hook it up, man.
finally did their thing too, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
um,
speaking of that, we didn't even talk about like the whole Johnny helping Miguel walk again. Like
yeah.
he tried so many different things and he fucking helped him out, dude. Like he took him to a concert and that's finally what did it because he saw his foot moving and like he's
Mhm.
like, yo, dude, look down. And it worked. And like before that though, he like set him on fire and like
That shit was funny.
stood him up and made him fall down and like it's like damn, so many different methods and techniques and shit that they tried. And yeah, man, it was yeah, good stuff. Um
Everybody in this show has trauma, and they all deal with it in different ways, right? Like,
mhm.
Freeze has his trauma, which has made him just an evil bad guy after so many years, and like, Johnny has his trauma, which Miguel is kind of helping him get through,
Yeah.
has kind of gotten through, really.
Which there was a cool moment between those two when they were like gonna cancel the All Valley thing and they all went to go speak to the council person or whatever.
Mhm.
And he's like oh, Miguel's like, oh, I wouldn't be the person that I am today without my sensei, or without Johnny, helping me out throughout the way, because I was a fucking loser when I got here, and he was helping me out. That whole spiel that he did. So I thought that was kind of cool, which I think maybe like Daniel maybe saw that and was like, okay, well maybe if he is actually helping out these kids. He's not being the crease and just corrupting them and leading them astray. So I mean,
Mhm.
hopefully, we ended the season with them working together. I hope that Miguel and Sam can all, it looked like they're getting back on good terms too. And
Speaking of Sam, let's talk about Sam for a minute.
yeah, I was gonna
She
just
no, go ahead.
very quick. I was just gonna say, you were talking about the traumas and struggles and stuff. I was gonna mention her
Mhm.
stuff with fuck. Why am I blanking
Panic
on her name?
attacks. She has panic attacks with
With
Tori.
Tori. Damn it, I blanked out her name for a second. But yeah, Tori. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. I was just gonna bring that up here real quick.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, that is what a panic attack feels like, guys. If you've never had one, watching Samantha in season 3, that's exactly what it's like. Like, yeah, everything slows down. You feel like you can't do anything. You feel like you can't breathe. You feel like you're gonna die. It is the worst feeling in the world. I know I've had them. Like, it is awful. So she has like some PTSD left over from season 2 of the fight with Tori. Which, speaking of Tori, she's got her own trauma, right? And she's gonna become like the new priest if she doesn't deal with it in a better way than she is. Like, she really is. Like, she has a mama that's got cancer, or I think it's cancer, if I remember right. And you kind of see it. You see just a glimpse of her home life, and you get like this smarmy, greasy fucking landlord's trying to like take advantage of her situation because she doesn't have a lot of money. She's having to work 2 jobs, and Kreese kind of comes in and teaches that dude a lesson. Which, how did you like him put his finger in the fucking cigar cutter and then it cuts over to the Miguel cutting a hot dog?
That was a heck of a transition, dude.
I was
Yeah.
like, the Game of Thrones does, because they've done that in Game of Thrones a few times with those little transitions where it's just like, oh, it's something gross, but then it
It's not
turns
the
out to be
first
something
time
else.
they've done that in Cobra Kai too. I'm pretty sure, right? Like I remember they've done something like that in the past as well.
Yeah, the edits are great.
Yeah, it was
Um,
it was it was a really good it was a really good transition. It was good on them for sure. That was a heck of a good one.
um, let's talk about Robbie because we haven't talked about Robbie really.
Okay,
Um,
he kind of
who?
was doing his own thing.
Yeah, he took a little bit of a backseat.
Yeah.
Um, this go round, which I think the actor that plays Robbie's actually, out of all of them, I think he's the most trained in karate and actual, like, I think he does a lot of his own stunts and stuff. Um, so Robbie spends the the first couple episodes he's on the run. The next couple episodes he's in juvenile hall dealing with stuff. Like, he's dealing with Daniel kind of turns him into the cops, and then Johnny kind of lets him down. Johnny never then kind of comes to visit him, and then I guess he kind of probably refuses to have visitors after a certain point. But Kreese kind of weasels his way in to see Robbie and
Sure
start
does.
kind of. He's a fucking Sith Lord in this season. He's a
Yeah,
Sith Lord, man.
kind of
Like,
is. Yeah. You were
we haven't
seduced
talked
by
about
the
the end
guy.
yet, but we'll get there. Which feels a lot of the end of that. We'll get there in a minute. It feels very Revenge of the Sith to me though.
Okay.
Um, he's in there. He's in there like trying to weasel his way into Robbie's mind. And then Robbie has a big fight in the juvenile hall and kind of wins respect. And then we don't see him for a little bit. Like, he's not in like a couple episodes or an episode here. And then he kind of gets out, and Daniel and Johnny are there, and they're not getting along at this moment, so they're kind of facing off with each other. And Robbie catches them, and then he just tells them both to stay out of his fucking life.
Hmm.
And Robbie shows up at Cobra Kai and ends up joining up with Kreese and Eminem, and then which is why Kreese is wanted from the start. He wants to manipulate and weasel his way into fucking with Johnny. The dude is obsessed with Johnny, by the way. Can we talk about how fucking disturbing that is? Like, that was his student, and now he's the adult, and he's still trying to manipulate and gaslight and just be a fucking piece of shit too.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Kreese is after. He's just psychotic. Um,
He's a madman.
he is.
This
Um, let's talk about the ending fight with Kreese.
Daniel and
So
Johnny.
Johnny is there's a fight that's happened at Samantha's house. She's kind of gotten Eagle Fang and Miyagi Do together to kind of hash out their shit and kind of join forces. Because Cobra Kai is going to beat the fuck out of them if they don't join forces. And then the party gets crashed by Tori and Hawk and
By
Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, they have their own fucking version of fucking holiday music that starts playing when the fight kicks off. So they all kind of pair off. It's just a big battle. Like, I can't describe everything that happens.
Yeah, it's kind of a. Yeah, everybody's just going at it, dude. They're beating each other's ass. They're destroying that home, dude. Like, oh my god, I'd be so pissed if I came back home and these fucking asshole kids are destroying my shit. I'd be heated.
And we should say Miguel's not a tip top fighting shape at this moment either. He's been training a little bit. You know, he's just now getting to walk again. So
Yeah,
he's
but
kind of like,
he had to learn how to walk again and fucking do all that other stuff again. So yeah, he hasn't really been keeping up with honing his skills like some of these other like everybody else has.
so he ends up fighting Kyler, sorry, for most of this fight. Samantha is fights some nameless Cobra Kai dudes, some extras, and then she and Tori end up pairing off and ended up in the dojo, and then Dimitri is also fighting some of the other dudes, but he's kind of protecting the littler fighters. If you watch him fight in a few of just the passing shots, they never put a focus on it, but he is kind of helping out Bert and the I don't remember the other Bert's rival. His name, where they're like they go back and forth at each other.
They all have like their own rivals. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Everybody's got their own rival. Yeah.
And then Hawk, beating the shit out of Miyagi Do's, and then he sees Dimitri about to get his fucking arm broken, and then we get the double turn. The music swells, and I'm just like, this is the moment where I talked about. There's a moment in the new season of Mandalorian toward the end of the season that made me a kid again, and as like heart was beating, and I was like cheering. Right, I'm not gonna spoil it, obviously, because we're talking Cobra Kai, but
yeah,
that moment in that episode in Mando happened here for me with this Hawk double turn here. Like the music changed, and I'm just like, come on, Hawk, you gotta change, you gotta turn. I almost never talk to my TV when I'm watching something, but I was talking to my TV when I was watching this. I was like, come on, Hawk, you gotta turn. And the music swells, and he fucking leaps up and kicks the shit out of both of those dudes, and tells Dimitri he's sorry, and asks Dimitri to help him finish the fight. And they go back to back. They're fighting together. Oh my god, it was so satisfying to see that double turn and to see them whooping ass. It was great. And Miguel sees them reunite, right? And it kind of inspires him while he's getting the shit kicked out of him by Kyler. And he gets inspired and does that thing all heroes do when they're down and see something that makes them get inspired. He comes back and knocks Kyler the fuck out with some cool ass moves, by the way. And it's the same thing for the Sam and Tori fight that's happening out in the dojo. Like Sam's having a little bit of a panic attack. Tori gets nunchucks, by the way. A fellow chucker, eh? And she swings at Sam and breaks a picture of Mr. Miyagi, and she kind of had a little flashback to something her dad told her in the season. And she gets a stick, and they start fighting, and the tide's turning, and Sam starts beating. I think she could took Tori in that moment, but Hawk and the other guys come in there, and that fight kind of ends. And then we swap back over to Johnny. He's gonna go tell Carmen that he loves her, and he opens the door, and she looks shocked. He opens the door, and it's Miguel all beat up, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what sets off the final stage. Sorry, I felt like I had to tell all that to get to the final stage.
No, you're good.
This next fight.
You're setting it up.
I wanted to get the context there so everybody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
So he goes to Cobra Kai because fucking Johnny is pissed because he sees Miguel up beat the shit. So he's obviously been filled on what's going in. He kicks open the door to the back room and there's Kreese and Robbie. And there's some back and forth, some talk, and then they start fighting. And Johnny and Kreese are kind of having it out and fighting. It's a good little fight happening, and they kind of fight through the dojo, and they end up in the front room. And Robbie's trying to get him to stop, trying to get Johnny to back off. And it's kind of fucked up how you already see Robbie getting taken in by Kreese, where he's like, he just wants what's best for you, kind of shit. Um, um, like there's a moment in that fight where Johnny gets knocked up against the wall and he picks up a sai, when a fucking Raphael's Ninja Turtle weapon. Like he's gonna use it on Kreese, but Robbie says no, and Johnny drops it, and they start fighting again. And we're getting the little flashbacks of Kreese in Vietnam fighting when this is happening as well. Mm-hmm. And I just love this fight because like Johnny pretty much wins this fight. But Robbie interferes.
Yeah.
And he tells him like, I can't hate myself, but I can hate you, or some shit like that. And the music's playing, and I'm like, this is the most Star Wars karate show I've ever seen.
It is. Yeah, it's very Star Wars that moment.
Absolutely. It was so the music, the betrayal, father against son, the light side and the dark, and they're fighting each other. I was like, Star Wars. I couldn't believe it.
And then you have Kreese just being the Palpatine there in the back.
Yeah.
The old man all injured on the floor, and then you think he's down and out, but he's got a trick up his sleeve, It's super Star Wars, 100%, dude.
So, and then Robbie's fighting Johnny, and you can just see the difference in their level, right? Like Robbie's well trained, yeah, but he's not a sensei. He's not a master level karate fighter like Johnny is. So Johnny's just like deflecting all his moves until finally he just kind of pushes Robbie and he fucking hits his face on like a blocker. And then Kreese comes up and starts choking out Johnny. And guess who shows up? Your boy Daniel LaRusso, the Karate Kid, Karate Man, I guess now, shows up and kicks Kreese and says, "You sit in my house." He's fucking pissed, man. So we get part 2 of this fight, which hits off to Kreese, dude. He's having to fight 2 karate masters practically at this point. And he just keeps going. So, he and Daniel square off and start fighting, and it's badass. Like, it's that moment you always kind of wanted, which is LaRusso just facing off with Kreese, and he fights defensively, and like Kreese is like, you can't keep up this defense-only bullshit forever. And he's like, I won't have to. So when Daniel starts fighting back a little bit, and then Daniel gets picked up and ran through a fucking wall, which, by the way, that would be the end of me in that fight. Like, I wouldn't even make it that far, probably, but Jesus. And Kreese picks up a piece of glass and is like, it's time for you and Miyagi to reunite. He tries to stab him, and Daniel has his own flashback. There's a lot of flashbacks in this last episode, I realized. To Chosen telling him, if your enemy insists on waging war, take away his ability to wage it.
To wage it, yeah.
Yeah, so he hits those pressure points and knocks a piece of glass out of Kreese's hand and numbs his arms and kicks him down. And Johnny comes to the window and kind of nods at him. And Daniel's getting ready for what I think was a killing blow on Kreese, to be honest with you, at that point. Like, he's kind of winding up for another strike. And then Sam stops him. They show up, him and Miguel, or she and Miguel, sorry.
What would you do if he just went honk?
I'd probably lose my shit.
Dude, which I lost my shit when Chosen did that to Daniel. I was like, holy shit, that's funny.
Then we get the setup for the next season where they're like, we'll settle this the old-fashioned way. Tournament, which is kind of ridiculous. I'll admit it. It got to me a little bit, but I was like, I don't give a fuck. It's a show. It's good. It's good. Tournament. If I win,
classic Karate Kid fashion, dude.
Yeah, if
That's how
you
the
win, I'll leave, and if
yeah.
you lose, and then Johnny says we won't lose. He says we won't lose, and that's when you know the team up, the team up, the motherfucking team up we all wanted.
Yeah, man.
Um, so that's where we end up with everybody
End
kind
the
of
season, yeah.
reuniting. Um, I do like the ending scene um, of everybody kind of showing up at the Miyagi Do dojo, and uh, you see Dimitri and Hawk and Sam and Miguel, and then finally Johnny comes in, and he and Daniel bow to the students, and then they turn and bow to each other, and it's like, let's go, and that's where we end. We set up for season 4, which I absolutely cannot wait for. It's gonna be so fucking dope. I
The
love Cobra Kai.
the way they ended this season, yeah, I'm very excited for season 4. Uh can't wait, dude. It's gonna be great. But we just had season 3, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit
Yeah.
for the next one.
Well, I feel like I talked a lot.
Hey man, that's how it goes, dude. When you get into that's how I feel when I talk about Star Wars, man.
You can tell how much I love this show by how much I talk about it.
Yeah, dude, that is how you can tell when you can just keep talking about stuff like that. Absolutely.
um, but overall, I so much good shit happened. If you haven't watched Cobra Kai, you've watched the spoiler talk. I'm sorry that I got spoiled for you, but go watch it if you haven't seen it yet. Seriously, it's so good. Um,
Yeah, definitely
yeah,
check it out. It is
and there's a
it,
lot of little
it's
things that happen too. Like they hire Louis back at the car station and the
yeah,
car
which
bureau
speaking of
thing.
Louis, when they were like when they let the cobras into the cars and
Yeah,
like they're walking, I was like, it's a snake.
it's just a snake. I think
And
it's,
I think it touched me. They were both
it's
freaking
so funny.
out and shit. That was great.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, just overall, just a great season. I enjoyed it from start to finish. It was like so good, dude. Like I think I just binged the whole thing when I started watching it.
I did. I watched it
Like
day one. I watched it all the way through.
I didn't watch it day one, but like because I forget why, but like I didn't get the chance to until later. And then when I started watching it, it was one after the other, dude. It was just so good. Like I couldn't stop. Like each episode was like, yo, you have to keep watching this. Which obviously the show was meant to be binged because it's a Netflix show. But like
Hmm.
I couldn't stop, man. It was so good. I enjoyed like again all of it from start to finish. Uh there was a lot of great character stuff. We didn't even talk about like we mentioned Dimitri, but we didn't even talk about like I'll be honest, like I Dimitri to me in like seasons 1 and 2 was so fucking annoying. I was one of those dudes that hated Dimitri. But he didn't bother me as much this season. He actually was a better
He
character for me this season than he was in
he
previous
chilled out a
seasons.
bit. He chilled out a bit. He got a girl. He got
He
a
did.
lady.
Yeah,
He
we we
got
we, we didn't
Jasmine.
mention that. Yeah, Jazz. They after Kyler and the other dudes bullied him and drew a dick on his cast. She was like,
Yeah,
she turned it around and made it into a good thing. And then like after that, we see them making out and stuff. And you're like, oh shit, look at that.
making out in the hallway. Then she gets all
Demi-
mad. He calls her Cruella, and that shit cracked me up. I'll be like, she does look like Cruella. Look at what she's got on. It's so good.
it was pretty great. It was pretty great, man.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did skip over quite a bit, like the soccer brawl that kind of happens.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. They.
But we don't have to
Okay.
mention everything. But
Miyagi though got their asses kicked several times here in this by Cobra Kai, man. Like they were just getting whooped on like time after time. Like we when the time when Dimitri got his arm broken, like that was supposed to be like Sam's plan to like get back at him and like and then they ended up getting their asses kicked during that fight. Dimitri got
yeah,
his arm broke
because
by Hawk and they got fucked up, dude.
because nobody was expecting Tori to show up. Honestly, I feel like if Tori hadn't shown up, they probably would have won that fight. Um, because Sam fights Hawk a little bit in that fight, and I think prevails pretty strongly against him if I remember right. But yeah,
Yeah, it
Cobra
was.
Kai, check it out.
Yeah, great show. Another great season. Um, yeah, I just love. I actually love the show. It's so good. Like the relationship between Johnny and Miguel is like probably my favorite thing. You know, just seeing
Mm-hmm.
those two guys chill out, be bros, and just the whole sensei student relationship is just awesome to see, man. Um, yeah, just such a good show with so many great characters, though, man. It was really, really, really cool to have the show back. And then the only bad part about binging it all is that like once you watch it all, that's it. It's over. Like that
Mm-hmm.
it's part of the reason why I like waiting week to week for shows because you kind of have like you watch one episode and then you can talk about it for an entire week and before the next one. You have more of a discussion time for each. You can kind of appreciate each individual episode more when you have to wait for a new one each week, as opposed to like here's all of them, fucking watch them all, and then it's kind of like the whole Stranger Things syndrome where it's like everybody's looking forward to Stranger Things, which we should be getting season 4 this year, I think. But anyway, I digress. You're waiting for Stranger Things forever. Then it comes out. Everybody binges it the same weekend. Everybody talks about it that weekend, and then like it's forgotten until the next season comes out. Which is kind of the problem that I have with bingeable shows.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of prefer like having the wait week to week. That way you have a bit more discussion time. Everybody can enjoy and watch the episodes, at their at their leisure and not having to worry about getting spoiled for the entire season, because it just came out. So I don't know. I kind of that's like the one bummer about having the show all be out at once. But hell, if I didn't have a great time binging them all, dude. Fuck, what a good season. What a good show. I'm so glad it came back. And definitely one of the best things about 2021 so far. Like without a doubt.
Hell yeah.
Um
Oh shit, I don't know what else to say, man.
yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any. I'm sure there's, again, we didn't talk about everything there because if you've seen the show, then you don't need us to talk about it anyway. But yeah, we talked about the majority of the things that were
So
that we
overall, I
wanted
liked the
to.
fighting. I
Overall,
liked the
really enjoyed it.
fighting.
Yeah.
I liked the Cobra, the Kreese flashbacks. I think that gave him some substance.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Agreed.
um, Hawks conflict and double turn. I was a big fan of that, and the music. The music, Miyagi Metal, Duel of the Cobras. Um, all that shit was great. I love the music that plays when Hawk does his double turn. And then the final fight with Kreese and Johnny and Daniel, and then them uniting into one like school. I love it. I love it. It's
Cool.
great. I loved how and I loved how Star Warsy it felt in that fight, that ending fight with Robbie and Johnny. So yeah, that's what I liked from this season, and love the show.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with all of that. Yeah, I love how just emotional this season was. Like for me, like I was so much more emotional for me. It's just I man, this season really hit me more than the other ones. And again, I can't remember the last time, like apart from like Mandalorian, I can't remember the last time a show made me like fucking that emotional. I was like, God damn.
I know
Which is
we were really lucky to get. We got the end of Mandalorian, and then like a week off, and then we got like Cobra Kai, and it was a good. It was a So much good television at once, right there, or something like that. Now I just sit back and watch all the reactions to everybody finally getting to those final episodes and the hog double turn that I love watching people react to. um, but if that's all we got, that's all we got. Daniel, do you have anything else you want to add on, or are we done, my friend?
I'm trying to think of stuff, but no, I guess I the other thing that I guess I will say is I love how this show respects and brings back um the the legacy characters, if you know what I mean. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's something that other franchises could maybe take a little advice or hints or just look at and be like, oh, that's how you handle legacy characters in your franchise, because again, I love seeing Ali back. I love Kumiko and Chosen and just all the stuff that we had this season was it felt for very emotional, or it was very emotional for, like, it wasn't even just for like to point back to the Mr. Miyagi thing. It wasn't like, oh, we're in the Karate Kid universe, so let's just throw in Mr. Miyagi stuff because we can. Like when you're reading those letters and you're seeing Mr. Miyagi involved in the show, it feels like it's earned and with purpose, and it's not just thrown in there just because we can, just because we can do it. It feels natural, like a natural progression of what happens. Like when Daniel's reading those letters and like he's like he recognizes immediately, oh, those are from the week that Mr. Miyagi died. Like
Mm-hmm.
it just you can just feel it, man. Like I don't know, that's the last thing I wanted to throw in is just how great of a job I think the people in charge of this show are doing with that kind of stuff. And yeah, man, I can say that I certainly appreciate that kind of stuff because it works, man. It's super emotional for all the right ways. And yeah, I mean, yeah, fuck you guys for making me cry, bro. Because that was I don't for those of you who know me, I don't cry a whole lot. Like I that's just the truth. But sometimes with stuff like that, I don't it gets me, dude. Like I gotta just reiterate, it's that Japan stuff was so fucking good, dude. Like I applaud you guys for doing that because it was incredible. But yeah, that's all I had to add in. Um, just how much I love
All
that
right.
stuff.
I agree. All right, let's say our goodbyes then, and we'll talk about what we got coming up. We'll start with you, Daniel.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate you guys hanging out here with us at the Clockwork Cantina podcast. Coming up, I am gonna be playing a lot of The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. This is going to be one of those games that goes on for a hot minute because it's a beefy open world game. So we'll be stuck on that for a hot minute. So keep an eye out on that. On the YouTube, I have, in addition to this podcast going up, I have videos of Metro Exodus. Uh, Zelda videos will be going up, so keep an eye out on that front. I have a Steam group that I started up, so join that if you're on Steam. Appreciate that. If you do, I'm planning on throwing up like polls and discussion stuff on there on what to do in regards to the stream and whatnot. But yeah, keep an eye out. I'm close to 500 followers, so hit me, fucking give me them follows, man, so we can get over that bump.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, hit me up. I'm around on Discord and Twitter and all that stuff. But yeah, other than that, looking forward to D&D, man. And we'll be seeing you guys next week. Have a great one. Peace out.
Hello, guys, and thank you for watching the Clockwork Cantina. We're gonna get more consistent. We're gonna be here next Saturday. Um, but make sure to come back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time because we're gonna play D&D. Last week we said we were gonna play D&D, but what really happened last week is we learned how to use Foundry and we just kind of cut up and hung out, which was kind of nice. or not last week, the week before last. Yeah, the week before last week, right? Yeah, because we didn't do anything last week because of the funeral and stuff. So that'll be tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on twitch.tv/Josh902. The good news is we have a door again. You guys saw it in the opening, which means I'll be able to stream again starting soon. I don't have a return date quite yet on when I want to start it or what I want to come back with. Exactly. I might do a little PC game just to kind of get warmed up back rolling again or something like that. I don't know what, but we'll figure something out and I'll let you guys know. Follow us here, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitch and all that stuff, and Twitter. That's it, guys. That's going to do it. Go watch Cobra Kai. Enjoy. And we will see you all next time. Wash your hands, please. Wear a mask.